Today we're going to talk about getting God's attention. So stop scrolling and get ready for some good news in 7 minutes or less. Hi, I'm Pastor Jeremy, and this is your Less Than 7 Daily Dose, where it is my goal to give you some encouragement from the Bible in 7 minutes or less. Today we're going to talk about getting God's attention. Have you ever got the feeling that God might be too busy for your problems? You want to pray, you want to trust God, but you just feel like you don't really matter enough to get God's attention. Well, let me help you see how wrong that thinking really is. You see, unless you are a total narcissist, you have probably had feelings of insignificance when it comes to the creator of the universe. I mean, that is how we process things, right? The more important we think we are or a person is, the less we can be bothered by the mundane and trivial issues of those that we see as less important. Thank God our Heavenly Father does not think the way we do. Let's go to the Bible. Luke chapter 8, verse 40, and it says this. On the other side of the lake, the crowds welcomed Jesus because they had been waiting for him. Then a man named Jairus, a leader of the local synagogue, came and fell at Jesus' feet, pleading to him to come home with him. His only daughter, who was about 12 years old, was dying. As Jesus went with him, he was surrounded by the crowds. A woman in the crowd had suffered for 12 years with constant bleeding, and she could find no cure. Coming up behind Jesus, she touched the fringe of his robe. Immediately, the bleeding stopped. "Who touched me?" Jesus asked. Everyone denied it, and Peter said, "Master, this whole crowd is pressing up against you." But Jesus said, "Someone deliberately touched me, for I felt healing power go out from me." When the woman realized that she could not stay hidden, she began to tremble and fell to her knees in front of him. The whole crowd heard her explain why she had touched him and that she had been immediately healed. "Daughter," he said to her, "your faith has made you well. Go in peace." While he was still speaking to her, a messenger arrived from the home of Jairus, the leader of the synagogue. He told him, "Your daughter is dead. There is no use troubling the teacher now." But when Jesus heard what had happened, he said to Jairus, "Don't be afraid, just have faith, and she will be healed." When they arrived at the house, Jesus wouldn't let anyone go in with him except Peter, John, James, and the little girl's father and mother. The house was filled with people weeping and wailing. He said, "Stop the weeping. She isn't dead, she's only asleep." But the crowd laughed at him because they all knew she had died. Then Jesus took her by the hand and said in a loud voice, "My child, get up." And at that moment, her life returned and she immediately stood up. Two of the coolest miracles in the Bible take place right here. First, Jesus heals a dead little girl. And second, Jesus heals a woman who had been sick for many years. Now, as you read the story, it might seem like pausing to take time for the woman cost the little girl her life. I can imagine Jairus being frantic with worry, feeling like, "Come on, Jesus, we don't have time for this. Who cares who touched you?" I can further imagine Jairus hearing the news that his daughter was dead, thinking, if it had not been for this lady, my daughter might have made it. All the while, the woman feels like she's going to be punished for even daring to touch Jesus. You see, she felt like her problem was not important enough for Jesus to bother with. But she thought, if I can just touch the hem of his robe, maybe, just maybe, God would heal me. You see, that is the way we think, but that is not the way Jesus thinks. So today, remember that Jesus has time for you. Yes, you right there. You're watching this thinking I'm talking to everyone else who's watching, but I'm really talking to you. So how do you get God's attention? You put your faith and trust in him. For God responds to faith, not need. He responds to our trust in him, not just our need for him. I hope this was helpful for you today. If it was, would you give it a thumbs up? And I would love to read all of your comments. And do you think this could be helpful for someone else? Why not share this and tag some people you know? God bless you and have a wonderful day.